Hello guys. Yesterday I tried to record one YouTube for those they are looking the logic or knowledge or a skill to how to develop fluency, how to develop fluency or speak fluently in English. So it was uh, a great story I would like to share. There was a butcher. There was a butcher. He used to chop, the meat or sell in market. The shop of that butcher was just in front of road. So once upon a time, one king of that kingdom was going through that location. So that king all of a sudden looked at the butcher shop. The butcher shop and the shopkeeper was cutting or chopping, the meat like chop, 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 cut, cut, cut like this, and very excited. He was excited and doing this in very frequent and very easily. That king went there at that shopkeeper so-called butcher, and he was very excited to looking at that butcher. And the king asked the butcher, like, oh, shopkeeper, you are looking very excited, you are doing very easily, and it is getting cut. How do you have such excitement and doing well in very less time? Initially that butcher is scared of, but lately he gathered some confidence, and replied to the king. And he said, like, "O kingdom, O king, my majesty, uh, earlier when I started to cut the meat, at the time it was taking me a long time. Yes, it was a time when I was spending a long time to cut this leg piece or meat. But after doing long, I realized that I am going against the nature. To go against the nature means, at the earlier when I used to cut the piece, I used to hit on the bone, so it takes a long time. Yes, it took a long time and hard power or hard effort to cut that. And in a day or 2 day, I had to change my weapon because it took a very hard to cut the leg piece. But after some time, when some logic, some knowledge, or some ideas comes into my mind, then I realized that I am going against the nature. Means, you know when I was hitting on the hard bone, it was tough to cut. But when I realized that yes, there is a joint pain, so called joint pain, when I cut there, it takes hardly effort and it get cut very easily. Why? Because I have to cut only and soft, a very soft tissue. It takes very easy and very slow effort and very small time to cut that. So mean the time I realized, initially I used to put a long effort. I had to replace the very sharp edge weapon, but now it take a small time and I do it very easily. This is how now I am going with nature. I am following the right way. The king got, you know, the logic, the idea, and he realized that yes, the person is telling very truth. Instead of, hitting somewhere in hard bone, if he is hitting on a very sharp joint tissue, and it get cut very easily. Likewise, now comes to the point, when we start to learn English, we hit, we put our effort other than the logic, other than, we go against the nature. This is how it takes a long time, and somehow majority of people consider this, they think like this is very hard to learn, and most of maturity, they just ignore this, they, give up, they surrendered, they don't try to be fluent. But somebody to gaining some experience, and at last he or she got to know that yes, I was going against the nature, against the right way. That is why it is taking a long time. But when I go with nature, it takes a very small time. Yes, so most of people after learning grammar, they keep diving into grammar. If somebody is asking some question, trying to communicate, the people they are in learning phase, he concentrate his mind on grammar, on sentence, on complex, rules. Instead of making his mind effort in right way, he puts his mind, his focus into grammar, and this is how it takes a long time. So if you follow the nature like a toddler, when he or she is in very child age, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year old, he or she doesn't think that what is the rule to speak. He only start speaking like ma, papa, like this word he or she use. So think that position, think the logic, think the nature. So correlate or a skill or attempt with that butcher attempt. Yes, instead of hitting on hard bone, he have to hit on very soft tissue to cut the leg piece of meat. Likewise, instead of after learning, we again and again hit our mind, focus on grammar, we have to focus how to respond, how to speak, how to give respond in quick way, be fluent. This is how most of people doesn't get into this right way, and just hang up and think that this is not easy to be fluent, to be, public speaker, to be confident. So if you use your mind on right way, correct way, you will realize that yes, this was not tough, but I was making this tough instead of putting our effort on right way. So thanks to watching it. Make your effort on right, on precise manner, on correct logic with the nature. Thanks to watching it. Be tuned with me. I'll try to bring more and more logic when I get to know, so that it may help more new learner to speak. But believe me, it's very easy if you go with right way, right logic. It will come with making your effort day to day. Thanks. Bye. See you in next YouTube.